Hey, and welcome back to our mini-series on raising up disciple makers. So last week we talked through the first step of raising up disciple makers, which is the I do, you watch, we talk paradigm, where you let your disciples into your world and they see the behind the scenes of your life as a disciple. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that one, be sure to check it out. But this week we're going to be talking about the second step of raising up disciple makers, which is the I do, you help, we talk phase. This is when your disciples don't just watch you do things. He or she actually starts to jump in and help do that with you, right? And this is an important phase because a lot of times people will teach things to their disciples and just assume that they've got it picked up just by being the recipients of those teachings. But think about the times in your life where you actually learned skills or acquired abilities. Did you do that by just listening to a lecture or by going out and getting your hands dirty, right? Carpenters don't just learn how to build things by watching YouTube videos. They have to put the wood in their hand and put it together themselves. Mechanics don't just listen to lectures on how to change an alternator. They have to get the hood up, hands in, figure out how all of that goes together. And you've got to do this because a lot of times it takes a couple reps to get that done even right or get good at it. I mean, athletes and musicians know this better than anybody. You have to practice before you get the mechanics right. And even then, you're just starting to scratch the surface on becoming great at something. Discipleship is the same way. We need to give our disciples reps so they can experience what it's like to seek God. Experience what it means to teach someone out of the Bible. Experience how to share their faith with other people, to exercise their spiritual gifts, to fast, to serve, and how to do this with other people like yourself. Just telling them about this is insufficient, right? Discipleship is not just meeting together for accountability and simply talking through a Bible study with no real-life application. This affects every part of our lives, right? Discipleship is where you do stuff with your disciples and they're actually helping and participating in what you're teaching by actually doing it and getting coached and trained by you in the process. Just like we go to trade schools or college to become proficient at skills and vocations, we need to have time where we're mentoring and teaching our disciples how to do this well. And the best way to start this process is to do the I do, you help, we talk paradigm. Now this is especially critical if you're not just trying to raise up disciples, but you're trying to raise up disciple makers, right? What you're doing in this phase is allowing them to be on the receiving end of the instruction. They're going to experience it firsthand as the apprentice or the person in training, because it's always good to remember what it feels like to be on the other side, so to speak. Now next week, we'll talk through how to make a smooth handoff and ensure how they get the reps, the skills, and the abilities to not just make it as a disciple, but as a disciple maker and thrive in that area. So stay tuned, and we'll talk a little bit more about that next week.